Yeah, spoiler alert. Okay, let's go back then. So studying abroad is very popular today, and the idea is very popular. Yet there are not so many people who are brave and daring enough to try it. One thinks that he is not good enough and not bright enough and sells himself short, and another one thinks that he knows everything about the world that he has to know, and there is no need to get uncomfortable to learn that home is still better. But I can give you 2 points for and against this experience. And the reason that might stop and scare you is that this is a terrifying change. And for some of you, this statement is defining and final. However, there's at least one reason why you should do this. And this is a terrifying change. And indeed, this is very challenging. This might be a game changer for your future. And I'm not just talking about getting out of your comfort zone, and who knows, this may even lead you to your comfort zone. I'm talking about seeing this world from a different perspective, learning who you are, what you want in your life, and what you don't want in your life, becoming determined about all these choices and succeeding in it. And it also doesn't matter if this experience shows you more good or bad in you and in the world around you, because your picture will get bigger anyways, and your awareness will rise. So studying today is as easy as it may be these days, because this path is taken daily by many people, and you don't have to shoot yourself into the space of unknown. So they're willing to share their experience with you, even if they didn't like something. And the reasons might be actually very numerous. Too big a cultural difference, different language, different mentality, difficult and different educational system, and why exactly you should go then. So I have a short story to tell you about the presentation I made for a group of students, and there was one student who actually couldn't keep it anymore, and she said that she was bound to become an economist, and all these stories about grants and scholarships abroad was not about her. She was just an ordinary girl. So I took this turn, and I told her a story about my colleague, who was originally just an accountant. She studied abroad, she learned languages, she took different financial and accounting courses on an international level, and eventually she became a very highly qualified specialist in this area, and she works as a financial director in a very big company right now. So the girl then told me that my colleague was 1 in a million. But who told this girl, and who told you that you are not 1 in a million? So I'm here today to tell you that you are 1 in a million, and you are capable of achieving great things. And it's okay to choose a usual life, but it's not okay if you choose it because somebody told you that you're not good enough and you're not worthy enough, and you're just afraid to raise your bar a little bit. There was also another girl who was very hesitant and shaky about her future because of her health issues. But we all realize that this life comes as a package deal with all the problems, diseases in it, and there is no time for rehearsal. Your life is right now. So the more things you know about this life, the more arsenal you have to do with it. So I have a question to you. Who amongst you think they have similar or maybe your own excuses like this? Can you please raise your hands? Thank you. So who told you and who made you believe, guys, that you are not capable of becoming great at whatever you do? I can tell you that you are capable of being successful in exchange programs for sure, if you are hardworking, brave, persistent, and stoic. So hardworking means that you take responsibility for new, challenging things, and they are rewarding not only in terms of knowledge, but also skills and seeing new horizons. You need to be brave, and maybe some of you share similar memories with me from school, when I was just shy and timid, and you know, I always knew the right answer, but I was so scared to raise my hand and answer. You need to overcome yourself. You need to try different selves, and maybe you need to try different places. You can go to scorching deserts with the snakes and scorpions in it, or you can go to icy cold ones and explore the hidden frozen secrets of our planet. So it's up to you. Persistent. You need to be very persistent, because applying to different programs, probably you will fail. And not only once. You will fail your tests or fill in papers in the wrong way. So you need to try again. You need to try more options. You need to try harder. And this will actually improve your knowledge and skills. Probably it will also raise your resistance to bureaucracy and fill it in zillion forms. So you need to be stoic. It means that when life is hard on you, you need to stay cool, accept what's coming, and act very rationally. And I assure you that these qualities can give you a lot of keys to this life in general, not only studying abroad. So I applied for an exchange program after 4 years of working in business and 3 years of working in an academic sphere. I was 29 at that point, and this information is for those who think their education stops when they graduate and they won't have another chance because life begins. Well, this is not like that. I've also read some reflections of people who study abroad at the moment, and almost every second person said that it was a good solution to take an inspirational break after their bachelor's degree. So they worked, they had some experience, and when it came to deciding about their master's degree, they had more input on their hands. We also sometimes consider that master's degree is like an immediate sequel to bachelor's degree. Well, this is not like that. Bachelor's degree can be sufficient for your future career, and master's can be something completely different in a couple of years. It's also a very usual situation when in a group of master's students, there are people of 25 and 40. Some of them came with their families from abroad. So it's a usual situation, and it means it's never too late to learn. I can also reassure you that you don't have to be reached to try all of that, because there's a whole selection of scholarships at the moment, and you can actually start looking while still at the university, start looking for different double degree opportunities, exchange programs, and similar things. But even if you graduated like I did, you can still find it. It's also worth mentioning that if you're doing a sports career or a legal career, and you think, I'm a lawyer in Russia, who cares? Like, I don't need languages and stuff. I assure you that at some point in your career, you want to become a real expert in all these fields, and you will need international education most likely. So I won when I applied, and I won something I expected less. I won my master's degree abroad. And it was quite a turn for me because I had to take different tests after the first stage of the competition, and they were not only English proficiency tests, but they were also tests including math. So I never had any difficulties with the subjects at school, you know, math or geometry or whatsoever, but this had to be done by a person of humanities 10 years after I drew my last symmetric parabola at school, actually. So it was quite a turn for me. It was very challenging, and the whole process took me a year. I had to provide a lot of papers. I have to fill in many forms, my translations of academic writings, medical descriptions of all my defects. So it was worth it in the end. And in a nutshell, I can tell you that every application would normally include CV or resume, motivation letter, copies of your diploma, reference letters, and test scores. And seeing this information on the board, you can understand right now that it's very important to build good relationship with your faculty, professors, with your teachers and colleagues who can give you reference letters. So it will increase your chances of getting a good letter, which is good not for only studying abroad, but also for finding a future job. So I went to study in Arizona. And believe me, besides that being a complete opposite to Siberia, I had many other hills and valleys on my way. It was a different language, different mentality, different morality with its norms and behavior. And I missed my friends terribly. I missed my family. I missed my favorite cuisine. Not everything turned out to be really good. But, so studying abroad will most likely introduce you to new formats of education as well. So probably your lectures will turn into dialogues with professors. You will not just read on your own, but you will discuss it in groups, and you will work on group projects in versatile groups with multicultural environment. And they will provide like a meaningful experience exchange for you. You will also be able to choose different subjects and tailor your path. So anyways, you can also be lucky enough, and some of your teachers will be Nobel professors, like Nobel laureates, or top managers from the field, or some outstanding people. And I have an example like that from my experience in Arizona. I took an urban dance class, and every 2 weeks, a professor would come from a different state, and they would teach us different styles of dancing, contemporary, house, krump, and whatsoever. It was very amazing and inspirational because they were true aces in what they did. So I embraced this experience, and this is what you have to do. And I embraced this journey of self-discovery and self-improvement. I felt like I was reborn in a different reality with a different set of options. And one important thing about studying abroad is that you really should try to live a life. Do something except the books, except the writings, except the readings. There are usually a lot of extracurricular activities offered on campus, so you can choose from them. And it's okay. It was a big spiritual journey. I met a lot of people on my way. Some of them became my dearest friends. So I started wakeboarding when I was there. Who knew there was enough water in the desert? Anyways, I took a singing class, I took an urban dance class. I was a part-time media journalist in the university newspaper. My friend from Cambodia, also an exchange student, he learned how to swim, how to play guitar. My friend from Canada, she took a journalistic path, and she was a real journalist for the university newspaper as well. So all these people you meet along the way are your sources for growth and inspiration. This communication is the greatest treasure you can find in this adventure. So it was a big spiritual journey for me as well, and I hope it was not the last one. There were downfalls, of course, and not everything went so smooth. So there were mind-blowing sandstorms and flash floods right after that in the desert. And I met dozens of big cockroaches on boulevards everywhere, and I once saw a sand fox on my way from college, which was kind of scary. It was very hard to find everything for my favorite cuisine, so no grechka, guys. So, yeah, and it was very hard to shop and travel without a car. We once were stuck on a bus stop near IKEA with a ginormous mattress we had to take home, while a dust storm was about to burst on us with numerous lightnings across the whole sky, and believe me, it was truly terrifying. So, and it was worth it, all the bad things too, because it showed me who I am, who I was, what I wanted to be. It also showed me different ways of doing many things, so it changes you completely. And if you still think, if you have some doubts and you think, what if this, what if that? So I dare you to ask a couple of questions. What is the worst thing that might happen to you? Actually, if you think, all these things can happen to you right now, anywhere, at any point of time. But if you ask yourself, what is the benefit of trying? Many good things come here as an answer. Because there are new connections, new people, new opportunities both abroad, and when you return in your home country, the number of your survival skills will definitely increase, no doubt. So if you want to shape your personality, if you want to fix some misunderstandings in this world, if you want to really test yourself, please take a chance. And if you think that you don't have the guts, I assure you, you're good enough, and you're bright enough, and you deserve your goals, and everybody here deserves their dreams. So in conclusion, I would like to say that I truly admire the bravery of those people who chose to come to Siberia, this distant region, this distant city, which really deserves it. I hope your journey is full of knowledge and joy. So challenge yourself, because this might be a terrifying change. Thank you. У нас в раздаточке распечатано, где мое выступление написано, небольшие примеры различных обменных программ. Если вам интересно, можете посмотреть.